Hello and welcome to Monday Mindset. Here we are this morning, drinking coffee in the backyard again, acting weird. Today I want to talk about what it takes to get unstuck. So what does that mean? I want to use the metaphor of like driving. So sometimes you're in drive, sometimes you're in neutral, and sometimes you're in reverse. And we can all agree that your mindset and your focus is going to be what puts you in the direction towards achievement or not. And a lot of that has to do with how you perceive situations and what gear you're in. So if you're in reverse, if you're in neutral, here's a couple things to help you get unstuck. Oftentimes what we see is athletes, professionals, everyday folks. Sometimes we witness folks being their strongest when their circumstance and what they're facing, we would think they would be their weakest. So what causes this? And it has a whole lot more to do with things like mental toughness and grit than it has to do with intellect and physical agility and power. So from athletes to day-to-day folks, when they're faced with unique challenges, when they're faced with adversity, that they force themselves to be an observer of the situation so they don't get caught up as a victim. So some advice on how you can do this. When you are faced with a challenge, let's just say all is well, you're moving forward, you're moving in the right direction, you're faced with a monumental challenge. You have a choice in this situation. Either you can become a victim of what's happening, or you can take the position of an observer and look at maybe some of the thinking that might have led to that. First, identify the things that maybe you have control over, because you might have contributed to this situation. Then identify what you don't have control over and try to create some acceptance and then create a new strategy. This prevents you from getting into reverse. This prevents you from hanging your head low when you face something that might not put you towards your goals. So again, if you're stuck, if you're in reverse, the ways to get out of reverse are going to be self-advocacy or self-advising or self-questioning. These are all things, believe it or not, we're having a conversation with ourselves all day long, every day, and it's a story. And typically it's not based on fact. So make sure that your self-talk is in line with what you're trying to achieve, that you're not having dismissive, discouraging, negative conversation with yourself on a daily basis. So you got to check yourself there. That's a big one. And that takes research and practice. It's like anything else. It's like fitness. You got to work on it all the time for it to work. So self-talk, self-advocacy or advising, what you need to do is ask yourself the questions that produce the answer that drives your focus further to where you're trying to go. So this will keep you in drive, so to speak. So number one, when you're faced with adversity, try to be an observer of the situation. Don't get caught up. Number two, self-advising and questioning. Make sure you're asking yourself the questions that put you closer to where you want to go, not self-defeating questions that affirm that you can't get to where you want to go. That's all we're going to focus on this morning. Monday Mindset, stay in drive. Make it a great day.